Welcome. It's your man got a dots, man. We are back. Hope everybody had a very good hope everybody had a very good weekend, man. Hope you had a chance to enjoy yourself. Hope you're having a good, very good start to your week, man. I know that I am. I know that I am most definitely. All right, so we're gonna kind of get into it. We're gonna talk about a little bit about Team USA taking home the gold medal. Speak easy. I will say this for the record, so it's no narratives being put out there. Yeah, Speak easy did pay through on his loss. He did pay through on his loss, and we're gonna talk about the game a little bit. Also, going to talk about some NFL training camp news in regards to kind of hold in some of the big storylines coming out of training camp. NFL preseason has started. If you had a chance to watch a couple of the games, how you doing, Dr. Dicky? How you doing? Um, yeah, NFL preseason has started. We've gone through the first week of games. Two more games for each team. As they narrow down the rosters, we get ready for the NFL season to promptly kick off, and I am very, 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 very excited. Right before NFL season kicks off, of course, college football. So ladies, Saturdays and Sundays are about to become preoccupied as per usual. But if you are in a situation where you have a man or you yourself are a fan of the game, you already know what it is. Get a girl owes you too. Yeah, she do too. No, matter of fact, I take that back. Gator Girl does because she actually sided with me on that one. That is a rarity over here. That is a rarity. I will hold on to that moment. I will cherish that moment. That will be a highlight of the show's history. Most definitely. But yes, we're going to talk about the Team USA game. Me and the good brother Speakeasy was up here last week and giving our predictions and our talking points in regards to Team USA. When we were talking about, I was saying that the world has slowly but surely caught up to the Team USA, and the fact yes, we have the most players that are NBA all stars and that kind of stuff. We routinely have the best players, but as we have seen over the years, ever since 2004 when we brought home the bronze, slowly but surely the world has caught up. Now, have they placed themselves in a position to overtake us? I'm not sure of that just yet, but I'm 2028 Olympics is going to be for me. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a litmus test to see how far the world has really come. Because as we saw during this Olympic run, we were talking about the warm up games, like the exhibition type games before the Olympics actually started. The world is no longer scared of Team USA rolling out the all NBA talent that we have access to. The litany of all stars and Hall of Fame type players that we have access to as being Team USA. The world, and to me, has slowly but surely caught up. The mystique is gone. The days of the 92 Dream Team scaring guys and players being out there more, not necessarily to compete, but just happy to be there, enjoying the festivities. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. You had a tough game against Serbia, where it took the play of Steph Curry to kind of push this team over the top. Then you saw him having to have a repeat performance against the team France, who I told you was a team that was capable of competing with Team USA. Now you would think when you look at the rosters, there's no way these teams should be able to compete, but the world has caught up. The players around international play has gotten better over the past 3 decades since we're talking about from the 92 Dream Team. The world has caught up. The world has caught up. And I think 2028, when we're going to possibly see a Team USA without Kevin Durant, a team without Steph Curry, a team without LeBron James, how good is this Team USA going to be when you take those all-time great players away from that team? And that's due to age. Who's ready to step up and fill those very, 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 very large shoes in regards to Team USA? Who's ready to be the alpha dogs of that team? We're talking about 4 years down the road. A lot of things can change. Guys get injured. New players may arise. There may be a new phenom that emerges on the scene. Maybe a new coaching staff. You never know how long Steve Kerr will be coaching Team USA. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to the 2028 Olympics, but I expect to be even more competitive. even more competitive field when we get to 2028. But hey, that's years down the road. We can look forward to it. But congratulations to Team USA for bringing home the gold, overcoming the challenges, playing two very good teams, and coming through late and picking up the dub. But congratulations to them. Hell of a performance. Good games, man. Good games. And I was, sitting back watching. And it's one thing when you see it won't be Bronny. Listen, no. No, the odds of Bronny making the Olympic team are, I'm gonna be honest with you, slim to goddamn none. That will not happen. That will not happen. I don't see that happening at all. He'll be lucky to stay with the Lakers for the duration of his contract. I know he signed a nice deal for a second round pick, one of the most unusual type signings you see for a second round pick. But the odds of him making it to a second contract, unless he improves his play over the course of the next 4 years, yeah, it may be, but it's still an accomplishment. Still an accomplishment to be able to go out there and play at the NBA level. Whether you think a guy deserves it or not, his play will keep him there if he deserves to be there. So, congratulations to Bronny on that. But let's kind of move on to some of the NFL news. For you Cowboys fans, some good news, I guess, came out this past week. CeeDee Lamb has returned back to training camp despite not having a contract extension put in place. He's doing what players have been doing pretty consistently over the past, I would say really over the past decade, in an effort to not have the team find them. And what happens is when a player holds out from training camp, doesn't come to training camp, doesn't make their presence known, is that they get fined. They get fined on a daily based on salary. That kind of stuff gets put into it. Typically, what happens once the guy signs the contract, the team kind of slides the money back to them that they were fined and that kind of stuff. But what players have been doing over the past decade is what they call the hold in. Is when you are at training camp, you are participating in some of the practices, or you're there. You just, I'm here for the participation award. You won't see them out there really for the preseason games. You won't see them really putting a lot of reps in, doing practice, doing training camp. They're there so they don't get fined while they're still waiting on a contract. Now, I'm pretty sure that attitude kind of changes once we get to the season and the season actually starts, because then you want to go out there and really play real football. Preseason is, we talked about that last week also. So these guys are coming in, holding in. This is some key names that are holding in, waiting for new contracts. Of course, you have CeeDee Lamb as Cowboys Nation, as I just spoke of. He's back, holding in. Not really. I don't think you're going to see CeeDee Lamb playing in any of the preseason games. I'm not sure how much he's going to participate during the training camp activities and practices that they have. But I'm pretty sure, once the season starts, whether the contract is done or not, the odds of him holding out pretty much evaporate. It's only been one guy I know that is decided, I'm going to hold out the entire season until I get the contract that I deserve. We've seen guys go into the season still in holdout status. Most notably to me, Emmitt Smith. One of the years that he won the Super Bowl, was still holding out for the first two games of the season. Jerry saw, hey, we can't win without this guy. We finally got a deal done. Typically, what happens if it goes into the season and the guy's still holding out, not willing to get out there on the field and risk injury. And listen, I get it. I get it. And the reason why, I think the main reason why we have, oh geez, we got my damn Abby. I'm up here just talking. Okay, let me take this down. Got the wrong overlay up anyway. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Ooh, technical difficulties with the stream, y'all. My bad, y'all. My bad. Um, the reason why you have these situations with guys holding out, holding in, and that kind of stuff, I think you got to put a lot of the blame on the players union for not being able to secure a fully guaranteed contract for NFL players. And I, I, I've always been kind of torn about this in regards to NFL players' contracts. Listen, I get it. In this sport, guys get hurt. Um, Injuries is a part of the game. And, every player, if you play long enough, you suffer some kind of injuries. While playing this game, it's a very physical game. It has always been a very physical game. I don't care how many rules you kind of put in place to kind of limit the opportunities for guys to get hurt. And that was like, namely let's say the quarterback position. Players can't go at the knees, and the protections they put in place as far as regarding the quarterback. But for the players association, players union, to not really advocate and not really push for guys to get fully guaranteed contracts or more guarantees in their contracts, is something I think they need to address, something they need to really take a hard look at, because the fact that the NFL is making so much money, hand over fist, the most popular sport in the United States. Super Bowl is the most watched event outside of the Olympics and World Cup, the most watched event on TV, period, each and every year. To not, the players get I understand, the salary cap is what the salary cap is, and the market is what the market is. But I think, the players union should really be fighting hard to get guys more guaranteed money, so where we don't end up in situations like this, where guys feel like, hey, I've outperformed my contract. It's not enough guaranteed money. I'm trying to get a deal done, trying to get a deal reworked. Therefore, if I can't get that done before the season starts, I'm holding out. And, teams penalizing players for doing that, finding them on a daily basis for the days that they do miss, or, even having a guy there that is, what they call a hold in. This is to me, it sends a very bad vibe, especially during training camp. When you're supposed to be working, preparing for the upcoming season, and you got a guy that wants to play. I think all these guys that are holding out, holding in, do want to play, but you're just not in the situation financially to go out there and risk it. And listen, I get it. I wish it was different, but it's not. And this is kind of the world we live in. But like talk about CeeDee Lamb, a notable hold in, his return back to training camp. Another hold in that I was not aware of until I kind of started doing research this past weekend in regards to get prepared for tonight's show, was left tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, Trent Williams, who is looking to get paid like the top offensive lineman that he has been rated as. He's looking to get a reworked deal to where he gets more guaranteed money, get a better contract. And San Francisco is already got enough problems dealing with the Brandon Ayuk situation. We may have some resolution to that coming in the next few weeks in regards to deals being done to possibly get him shipped out of there. But yeah, San Francisco, you're going to have, I think for San Francisco this season, and we talked about this as we kind of did our training camp previews, this is kind of a make or break year for San Francisco. Yes, you have all of this talent. Yes, you are the most talented team in the NFC, possibly the most talented team, or when you look at both sides of the football, in football. But eventually, you got to pay that talent. You got to pay that talent. You're already dealing with the Brandon Ayuk situation. The Trent Williams situation is something they've kind of kept low key. Unless you're a 49ers fan, you've really been watching what they've been doing in camp and his presence in camp as far as the contract is concerned. You're going to have to make some hard decisions, San Francisco, because Brock Purdy is going to want to get paid. And he rightfully deserves to get paid. Now, does he get paid in the range of what the market is? I'm not sure. When you look at what Jordan Love is prepared to make this upcoming season, I want to say, let me pull up that graphic real quick. Yeah, Jordan Love is scheduled to make $55 million for this upcoming season as part of his new contract extension with the Green Bay Packers. Is Brock Purdy in line to make even more than that with his deal? I can make an argument. Even though I think Jordan Love, talent-wise, is a much more talented quarterback than Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy not only is deserved a raise, but if this is where the market is going, and when you look at the guys on this list that are making $50+ million, Brock Purdy, with his resume, even though it's only off of 2 years of starting experience, Jordan Love just got $55 million after having just really one good season. Brock Purdy was in the MVP conversation for a majority of the season last year. I think he is in line to get a massive, massive, massive bump. San Francisco, you got some problems. Now, as a Cowboys fan watching from a distance, I'm glad you're going to be having money problems. That means some of that talent is going to have to be shipped out of there. You're going to have to find some new talent through the draft and on the discount bin. As far as free agents are concerned, give me just a second. But I mean, it is a nice problem to have, but it is a problem. Another guy who is holding in, waiting for a new contract extension, which could have a large bearing on how their season goes, is Ja'Marr Chase, wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals, who is also holding out, hoping to get Justin Jefferson-ish type money. I think Ja'Marr Chase is him and his agent going to make a claim that they should be getting just slightly more than Justin Jefferson's based on his level of production since he's been in the league. And Ja'Marr Chase has been one of the best wide receivers since he's come into the league. You got his contract situation kind of hanging over Cincinnati Bengals training camp. You would think with, locking up Burrow, you would think you would want to lock up his number one target. But as we have seen over this past offseason, teams are willing to, move on from quote unquote, wide receiver ones or the best, wide receiver option on that team, namely Keenan Allen leaving the Chargers because they didn't want to pay him. You got Stephon Diggs who got moved because Buffalo didn't want to pay him. So, Ja'Marr Chase, hopefully he gets a deal done. I think he'll probably get a deal done. I think, Bengals notoriously one of the cheapest franchises in the NFL. Is going to do their best to kind of keep Ja'Marr Chase in there with Joe Burrow, because I think you keep that connection going. You just don't find too many good number one wide receivers, and you try to hold on to those guys as long as you can, especially when you have a very young quarterback who has a connection with that wide receiver. Give me just a second. Let me click back over here because it was another guy. Talk about Trent CD, Ja'Marr. Hassan Reddick situation with the Jets is very, very interesting. Hassan Reddick, who was traded from the Philadelphia Eagles this past offseason, traded to the Jets, has come out and made publicly known that he expects either he's going to get a new contract or he wants to be traded. And based on his level of production, especially over his tenure with the Philadelphia Eagles, his tenure over there with the Carolina Panthers, I think Hassan Reddick is due for a bump in pay, but I'm not sure how willing the Jets are going to be willing to give him big money for long term, considering what they got going on as far as having to pay guys and keep elite talent in there. You got a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball, along with Hassan Reddick, who are going to be in line for new deals, much younger players, just as talented as players. I'm mainly looking at that secondary. Sauce Gardner is going to have to get a good sizable chunk of that salary cap. Of course, you have Aaron Rodgers taking up his chunk of the salary cap and some of those weapons on the offensive side of the ball, some of the additions they made to the offensive line. So I get it. I think Hassan Reddick, if I'm his agent, I think you got to go out there with the mindset of, hey, you're going to be making $14 million a year in the final year of your deal. Yes, you want a long-term deal put in place. And I get it because you want job security when we're talking about the NFL. But I think it's his agent, his advisor. I would say, hey, man, go out there, ball out. The money will come to you, whether it be from the Jets or from another organization. I think the Jets are kind of in a wait and see. I think the Jets do have a Super Bowl or bust mentality. Namely, you kind of got that vibe last year when they brought in Aaron Rodgers to be the quarterback. Unfortunately, he got hurt. But yeah, Hassan Reddick, I would think, hey, man, let's go out there, play. He's already been assessed. I'm looking at this report here. He's already been assessed $1 million already in fines. Typically, like I said, when you get a new deal done and the Jets don't look like they're ready to get a new deal done, um, you kind of get that money back on the back end and signing bonus and that kind of stuff. But you're costing yourself money in a way that the Jets are kind of looking at. They have no interest in trading you away. Right now, they don't even have an interest in really sitting down and hammering out a long-term deal for you. But Hassan Reddick, this is kind of like the life of the NFL. When NFL ownership, NFL teams hold all the power, hold all the sway. It's not much you can really do in regards to that, and that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks. But this is the sport that you play, man. This is the sport you play, and this is what you have to deal with going forward. So we're going to keep a close eye on some of these training camp stories as we continue pushing forward to the beginning of the NFL season. I might do that Thursday. The AP top 25 came out. I've got some questions about, where some teams are ranked as far as college football are concerned. We do dabble in a little college football over here as far as like the big games and that kind of stuff. This is going to be the first year where we have an expanded college football playoff. We're looking at 12 teams going to be playing for a chance at the national championship. So rankings and that kind of stuff. It's going to play a very big part of that. And, where you kind of, college football is one of those things like, where you kind of start has a big impact on where you kind of finish. It's best to be ranked high early and trying to climb the polls later on. But yeah, we'll probably do a little bit of that on Thursday. What's going on, Spider? We'll probably do a little bit of that on Thursday in regards to, doing a little college football preview as far as that. Listen, outside of the show stuff, this is listen, I was a little bit late starting the show. Typically y'all know I like to start around 8:30 to kind of get the show started. But hey, Madden is out, NCAA is out. I've been on the sticks. I've been online playing, brushing up on my skills, getting ready to play some competitive online leagues and that kind of stuff. Really, really enjoying that. So I got kind of sidetracked. Like, oh damn, it's Tuesday. Oh damn, it's Tuesday. I got a show to do. So I'm really, really enjoying that when I'm not on here doing shows and that kind of stuff. So bear with me. But we'll be doing that on Thursday as far as the college football preview stuff. We will be, keeping up with the NFL stuff as we got, get closer to it, more preseason games. I've watched a couple. There's some observations I made. Some of the rookies have looked pretty good, but then again, you're playing against guys that are probably not going to be starting in the NFL. You're playing against guys that are trying to make the roster, guys that are more likely, if they do make the team, are going to be backups or special teams players, which special teams is pretty much the backups. So yeah, they've looked good. I mean, but it's the preseason. I don't get too hyped about what I'm seeing in the preseason. It's like me getting hyped about summer league with the NBA. It ain't the real deal until the real deal starts. If they start playing like that once the season starts, then we're having a different kind of conversation. But these guys are looking pretty good in the preseason. Now, the Minnesota Vikings have had a setback. I did catch note of this. Rookie quarterback, JJ McCarthy, former quarterback of national champion Michigan Wolverines, hurt his knee. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out, but that kind of puts a damper a bit on the possible start of the Minnesota season. Minnesota is looking like one of those teams that could be challenging for a playoff spot in the NFC, in a down NFC. And when we talked about NFC as far as like tiers and all of that, I think over the past couple of years, the NFC I think has been kind of wide open outside of Dallas, Philly, Detroit, San Francisco. Any of those other teams, a game here, a game there, a streak here, a streak there. I don't think anybody had Green Bay making the playoffs coming into the last season. I don't think anybody with Tampa Bay with their situation with Baker Mayfield had them coming um, into the postseason. So it's NFC is kind of wide open. Minnesota was one of those teams that was going to be looking at really fighting for a wild card spot. They do have still have talent on the team. They could possibly make it, but the rookie quarterback getting injured kind of sets that back just a bit. But they do have what's his name? I think not Bradford, Sam Darnold. Do have Sam Darnold as the projected starter, so they might be all right. They might be all right. But that's about as much as I've been kind of watching the games and enjoying. It's just enjoying football, being back in a sense. But I don't really get hyped until that season actually start, because that's when the games mean something. That's when the games mean something. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to the start of the college football season. And yeah, it seems like I'm gonna be busy, keeping up with college and pro. But hey, I've been a fan for a long time, and it's kind of like what we do. It's almost like second nature this time of the year. So really enjoying that. So, but other than that, I think that's about it as far as what I had to talk about this evening. Is get a little bit of the housekeeping. We'll be back on Thursday for sure with a show over here, maybe doing a Freestyle Friday show. Do want to kind of follow up on another Olympic story in regards to boxing. Kind of looking at some of the dynamics with with the controversies with that. It's possible for the first time in a very long time boxing won't be at the 2028 Olympics. But that's something we'll probably talk about if I do a show on Friday over here. Of course, I'm kind of mandated to do a show over in the other space, but that should be an interesting one. That should be very interesting. But anyway, man, as always, man, appreciate y'all taking the time. Trainees shouldn't be fighting. Listen, spot of, and that's part of the controversy. That's part of the controversy in regards to boxing. It was a very big story for this Olympics, and it's already starting to be a very big story for the upcoming Olympics, which will be held in LA. It's been talk of boxing being taken off just because of how to handle that kind of the gender situation in regards to women, and I use quotations, women that are men that identify as women. Kind of weird, but it's possible for the first time in a very long time, that boxing, typically one of the one of the mainstays of Olympic sports, possibly won't be there. And there's also some other sports I kind of want to talk about, being premiered at the 2028 Olympics, namely flag football. I mean, you have 3-on-3 street ball, you had breakdancing. Jesus Christ, if you want to call it that that was kind of like a one and done for this Olympics. I think they've already come out and said they won't have Olympic breakdancing for the next Olympics, but we may do something on that on Friday. I want to kind of get some more information on that story before I kind of really bring it to the table and really have a real open discussion about that going forward. But other than that, man, appreciate the time, taking time out to listen to little old me. Remember over here, like, share, subscribe, and all of that kind of stuff, man. Leave comments and whatnot. I'm not excited about flag. Did you see that dumpster fight? Yeah, I saw it, man. Come on. Who did see it? Who didn't see it? I was surprised they even had it at. Listen, they try to make everything a sporting competition, man. This like, how do you have how do you present that? How do you, even if you don't even have a culture of embracing, well, I get into it a little bit, but when you don't have, and talking about Australia and some of these other things, you haven't embraced Black culture like that. For you to think, hey, this is an Olympic event, the whole world is going to see it, and you thinking this dancer, hell, if you watch this YouTube videos, like, nah, they're not even doing what these folks doing on YouTube. We can't present this as a representation of our country. Come on, man. Come on. I'm not excited about flag football, but Nikki, I am. I am. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it. Who's going to be participating? How they put that team together? Are we going to have The US roll out some college players for the flag football? Are they going to be looking at NFL players for the flag football? I'm curious to see how that kind of looks. And it's a sport. It's something to do. I can deal with flag football rather than Olympic breakdancing. I'm sorry. Um, I can deal with flag football more than I can deal with synchronized swimming. I I'm just saying. Like I said, I'm curious to see how they kind of put that together. What that looks like. As far as an Olympic sport, what kind of team is USA going to roll out? We talking college players, some All-Americans being put on that. I mean, we'll see. We'll see, but that should be interesting. But that's way down the line. Hell, if I'm still doing YouTube at that time, there might be a conversation to follow back up on, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, let me get my behind up out of here, man. It's getting kind of late, brother. Gotta get up in the morning. Appreciate taking the time out to listen to little old me and hit you off with the phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.